Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. Today we are here for round number 6 of the season for the Spanish Grand Prix at Catalunya. If you guys missed the last episode at Zandvoort, a race in which our car was genuinely insane, then check it out guys. I will leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen. I do want to say quickly, those of you that did watch, a massive thank you for the support guys. It's been the best episode in a few days, so I want to say a big thank you for that one guys. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this one as well. And yeah guys, let's jump into it. If you guys got into the video, drop me a like and let's get the Spanish Grand Prix underway. So first of all, jumping into the laptop, you can see on screen no rain expected here today, but there is some big news regarding upgrades. We've moved up ahead of McLaren and Alfa Romeo, so we are now the 6th best team on the grid. Of course, in the last couple of races we had a major engine upgrade for each one, and this weekend we had a minor aerodynamic upgrade on the car for the front end, and that's also improved us and taken us above both of those teams, and we are very close to overtaking AlphaTauri as the 5th best team. We've got another aerodynamic upgrade on the way for the next race in Monaco. This one is for the rear downforce, and I'm very excited guys because the upgrades are starting to really make a difference to our car now, and we're gradually improving, which is really awesome. But that aside, let's get the weekend underway. And first and foremost, practice had to be taken on here at Spain, and I can't lie, the car felt really good around here. Like, I was happy with the balance and the setup. But we don't seem to have the pace, or at least I don't seem to have the pace, because Schumacher is running P12 on the mediums in the other car, and only 8 tenths behind me, so he seems to have some really good pace around here. In terms of the R&D points after practice, we go over 1,000 points once again, and hopefully we can put on some more upgrades at the end of the episode. And in terms of acclaim, some very small gains, we stay level 12 somehow, but Mick Schumacher getting a small amount, and also as a team we are still level 16. But we now move into qualifying here at Spain, and this is when it gets a bit more intense. You turn the engines up and things get to see, people get to see where things are in the session, and if you've improved, if you've got genuine pace or not. And generally more times, more often than not, Spain does kind of highlight if your car is good or not. So it's going to be a key session to find out whether we do have a good car underneath us this weekend. This was my first lap in Q1, and to be fair, it was not a particularly perfect lap. It was pretty safe. No mistakes, just pretty safe and keeping it within track limits. And we go P13 behind Raikkonen and Norris. We then move on to my second run, and we were marginally up in sector 1. You can see we are currently P20 ahead of both of the Williams drivers, and I was setting a pretty good start to the lap. We then go into the hairpin. I was 2 tenths up and I threw it all away, braking way too early into the hairpin. We found 2 tenths though on the exit, which was good news for us, getting a very clean run out of there. And pretty much now it's all about just trying to hold on to the lap time gain and carry the momentum all the way to the end of the lap. We're currently 20th. Magnussen sits on a 1:14.3, so if we set this lap time, we should at least overtake both Haas cars. So will this get us out of the bottom 5? Let's find out. Across the line we go, P17, so just shy of getting out of the bottom 6, should I say, sorry, ahead of both Haas cars there behind Lando Norris. We then move on to our final run, and unfortunately I was almost a 10th up, but at this point is when the lap started to fall apart, so I lost a little bit of time through the fast chicane, and then I wasn't able to get the line quite right through turn 9. Had to have a little bit of a lift through there, and we lost all of our advantage. And pretty much guys, through the hairpin, I tried to push it, I got a bit too hot on the brakes, lost the back end on traction, and I lost the 10th, and pretty much it was hard to recover from that point onwards. So I pretty much just abandoned the lap guys, to be honest with you, and unfortunately it's going to be P18 for us and a Q1 elimination. We only missed out by just over a 10th, so I do believe maybe on a perfect lap we could have got it, but crucially Mick Schumacher into Q2 once again in P14, so a really good performance from my teammate in qualifying here today. He out-qualifies us once again, but with that guys, we're now going to move into an interview.
Your qualifying pace didn't put you at the front of the grid. Will this be a problem tomorrow?
Not particularly. We've been trying stuff all weekend, but the pace hasn't quite been there as it has been with Mick Schumacher.
How do you feel this season is going for you? Is the car competitive?
I think it's going brilliantly. We've had a really good run of results. We've been very consistent with the points, and the car for me is super competitive, and that's credit to the team. We're doing a really good job this year.
Appreciate your time.
And after qualifying, we look at the Rivalry Breakdown, and you can see Lando does outscore us here, but looking at the score, 23-16 with only the race remaining, we're looking pretty good to win the rivalry, so that's good news for us. In terms of acclaim, we do level up to level 13, so we do go up by 1, and that improves our combined acclaim bonus now to 46%, and Mick also gaining quite a big chunk of acclaim there. But guys, that's it for qualifying. Not the best session, a little bit messy, but the race is a different story, so let's jump into it and let's see how we get on for round 6 of the season for the Spanish Grand Prix.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat this weekend. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Why don't we discuss Red Bull? We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the sides haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Albon, Kvyat, Stroll, Ocon, and Sebastian Vettel, Gasly, Schumacher, Carlos Sainz, and Giovinazzi, Perez, Norris, Kimi Raikkonen, and Martinez, Grosjean, Magnussen, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Here we are then, guys. It's race time at Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix, starting from 18th place on the grid. It wasn't the best qualifying, I can't lie. The pace wasn't quite there, but having said that, we weren't a million miles away from Q2, so I feel like we might have some pace. It remains to be seen. Either way, I'm keen to see if we can try and turn this around, and fingers crossed the car works in our favour. And you know, normally, traditionally, I have good race pace. I'm kind of hoping and relying on that once again here today. Mick Schumacher, of course, starting a lot further up than us. I'm curious to see how he goes in this race. Hopefully, he gets put in a better strategy than the last race and hopefully scores some good points. But with that being said, guys, we're going to get racing here. But before we do, strategy-wise, we're going to be starting on the medium tyres and then going on to the hards. I'm expecting every single car outside the top 10 to be on this one-stop strategy. So we're going to have to make the overtakes happen on track. That's why the start is going to be really, really key. Fuel load, I've gone quite light this time. I've gone 0.2 extra, which is not much for me. I tend to use a lot more fuel than that. So let's see how that works around here. Hopefully it can benefit us in the first part of the race. Either way, let's get racing here for round 6 for the Spanish Grand Prix. Right then, guys, let's see if we can get a good start on the medium tyres. Getting the revs up to the sweet spot. Lights out and away we go. What a start, getting away beautifully there. We're going to get on the middle of 3 cars. Lando to our right, Kimi Raikkonen to the left of us. Down towards turn 1, we're going to switch to the inside. I'm getting squeezed by Giovinazzi. I have to back off, and that's going to allow Grosjean to go around the outside. We're going to hang our nose on the inside line of turn 3 though, and keep our car there side by side with the Frenchman in the Haas. Lando Norris having an absolute shocker of a start in the McLaren. I'm going to see if I can get ahead of the Haas, which we do. Down towards turn 5, I'm going to just slip my car down the inside to see if I can pick up Raikkonen and get him back. And there we go, P16. Good start from us. I can see Mick Schumacher battling one of the AlphaTauris up ahead. He's got Perez behind him on soft tyres. It looks like everybody else besides Perez running on the mediums this race, at least at the moment. Very nice through turn on, actually. Quite tidy from me through there. Down towards the hairpin. Oh, okay, look at that double overtake. Very comfortable on the brakes. AI are being very cautious. That's going to give us loads of room. Schumacher P12, we are P14. Looks like Mick is on the same strategy as me, which is good to see. Perez currently in a 97 sandwich as we close off lap 1. And what's been a very good first lap of the race for us. Really, that's going to help us get into the race, I think. We needed that badly after qualifying, and we've done a good job of overtaking plenty of cars around here. Let's see, Perez is saving a bit of energy here. Can we challenge the racing point? Maybe not. Looks like he's running a bit of engine mode now to compensate. But I'm expecting Sergio to be pretty quick and getting past Schumacher quite quickly on those soft tyres. But maybe I could be wrong. Maybe they could overheat. Either way, he's on a 2-stopper, so he's going to be massively out of sync with everybody else here. So it's looking like a P13 for us already, just on strategy alone. But let's see if we've got the pace today. I'm curious to see if our race pace is better. The car feels really good on these tyres. I'm very happy with this so far. The balance is good, the pace is good, we're keeping up quite nicely. And to be fair, Mick is keeping up as well with the AlphaTauri in front, so it's going pretty well for us so far. Let's see if we can keep it going that way. 3 laps down so far. Personal best. Pace is looking pretty strong. DRS enabled. I can't quite make a move on Perez just yet. We're all very similar for straight line speed. But the lighter cars definitely helped us out. I think we're a lot more competitive at the start because of the lesser fuel, which I'll definitely take on board for future races. Another personal best, 18.0. Pace is very strong. There's a Ferrari ahead of the AlphaTauri, which is, it's got a slight gap, which means the AlphaTauri is holding up a bit of a train now. I'm not sure if it's Perez, Kvyat or Gasly. Either way, we're nicely set up here to strike and benefit from the one stop, both myself and Mick Schumacher, which is great. Oh, Perez pits already. That's an early one. Let's get within a second of our teammate and try and stay in that DRS. Quite a few cars actually in the pit lane. In terms of the leaders, we're now up into the top 10, both myself and Mick Schumacher. In theory, Gasly or Kvyat is Gasly, so Gasly should be the first of the medium tyre runners. So myself and Mick and Gasly should be running 1, 2, 3 on the mediums once everybody pits off the soft tyres. So, you know, we've got to bear that in mind. That could be net position as we set a purple first sector there. Really good pace so far. Okay, more cars pitting off the soft tyres. We're on for a personal best here. 17.3, what a lap that was. Absolutely insane. We're now up to P6 in this race. Sebastian Vettel, new fastest lap. I wonder if Seb's on medium tyres. Maybe he qualified on those in Q2. So he's a bit further up the road. Yellow flag behind. I think it's Giovinazzi. Ooh, getting very loose through there. We'll get confirmation soon. I think it is Giovinazzi behind us. Sainz lost a chunk of time in the McLaren as well in the process. There it is, confirmation. No safety car VSC though, which is good because that would ruin our strategy otherwise. So I'm quite happy to stay out. We're doing a bit of a different race to the AI around us. It looks like the remaining front 3, which is I believe a Mercedes and 2 Ferraris, they're all on medium tyres. So this is the highest we're going to finish this race. So if we're going to go for the one stop and make it work, we need to pick up the pace and hope that this is the best we can achieve. I don't have a lot more pace really. I've not really been close enough to challenge Schumacher just yet. But maybe we can work towards trying to get Gasly by the end of the race. Maybe the hard tyres could be better for us. Okay, Mick doesn't have DRS on Pierre Gasly anymore, so he's losing time. The best way for Mick to run at a good pace is, I think, if he has DRS. So I'm going to try and pass him on the next lap, I think. Because suddenly now I've got a little bit more pace. Now that Mick doesn't have the DRS available to him, we are the quicker car. Right, let's see if we can pass our teammate here at the final chicane. Using a little bit of the boost out there. We're now going to have DRS. We're a little bit far back.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
Accidentally left it in standard mode there, but we are going to use the straight line speed difference to make a move around the outside of our teammate Mick Schumacher. And we're through, just like that. Let's see if I can drag him along and we can try and close in on Pierre Gasly and try and get within 1 second and within DRS range. Okay, we didn't get DRS on Pierre Gasly there. We did pull away from Mick Schumacher though, so we've got a 1 second gap to our teammate and another personal best in the process. Let's see if we can try and stick with a Frenchman. Feels like Mick is definitely struggling on worn tyres, a lot more than fresh tyres. Okay, Lewis Hamilton and Leclerc in the pit lane.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
Okay, we'll pit this lap as Jeff says. And we'll box for the hard compound tyres. Gasly just has too much pace, he's too quick. I can't quite lay a glove on him unfortunately, but we are keeping a gap to Mick Schumacher. We're going to pit now, and Mick should be in the next lap. Hopefully, he doesn't get overtaken by Hamilton and lose time in battling with him. Hopefully, he gets a clean in lap. We're going to box though. There we go. Perfect pit entry. So Mick Schumacher will lead the Spanish Grand Prix for a little bit. Vettel almost getting held there by Pierre Gasly. Right, let's see if we can have a quick stop. We're not going to rejoin ahead of Gasly, but if we can close the gap with a quick stop, that'd be nice. Nope. 3 seconds, not a good stop at all.
Was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Got a couple of racing points here. I'm having to use overtake to try and stay ahead. Using rich mix and overtake, we do manage to just stay ahead of Lance Stroll, which is crucial. Unfortunately, Gasly's got Ocon in between us, so it hasn't worked out perfectly for us. We've lost a bit of a gap to him, but that's okay. Right, we've managed to get DRS off of Esteban Ocon. We've actually pulled away from the racing points. Couple of cars in the pit lane, including Mick Schumacher, who's leaving the pit exit right now. He's going to rejoin just behind the racing points, as expected. He'll have 1 lap fresher tyres, but the crucial thing here is that Mick keeps the pace up and tries to stick with me in this second stint, because if he does, we'll score some big points here today. Oh, getting a lot of dirty air through there. Whew, that was close. Okay, we've got a couple of cars in the pit lane. Bottas in there for Mercedes. We're now up into P9 in this race. Surprisingly, Bottas going for the hard tyres now in this next stint. If more cars do that, we've got a very strong chance of finishing relatively high up, actually. Okay, a few more cars in the pit lane. This time Verstappen and Ricciardo are in there. So we're now P7 in this race. Also, one of the racing points are just pitted, so Schumacher up to P9. So at the minute, both cars in the points. We're still waiting for Ocon and Stroll to pit as well, so Schumacher will gain a few more places. And there we go, Ocon pits as expected. Along with also Stroll, I'm expecting him to pit, which he does. And also Albon as well, as we set a new personal best. That does mean we are now P5 in the Spanish Grand Prix, and Mick Schumacher P6. Another personal best. I don't quite have the pace though to close in on Gasly. He's got too much rhythm. I'm pretty much just hanging on to his DRS because he's dragging me along, and that's going to help us out in the long term when the faster cars come through, like Verstappen and Bottas on the 3-stopper. You can see Bottas now behind Schumacher, 8 seconds behind us now. Bottas new fastest lap. He's about to pass Schumacher very soon. I've now dropped out of Gasly's DRS. Unfortunately, I can't keep up anymore. I was only a 10th off my PB on that lap, but it still wasn't enough. At the moment, Bottas is yet to pass Schumacher. Mick is keeping him honest and keeping ahead of him. I think he's deploying his DRS on the straights, and Bottas can't find a way through, which is really, really good for us. It's helping us out massively, this is. Mick doing a great job for the team here. There we go, Bottas does pass Schumacher. Great job from my teammate though, holding him behind for a little while. I still think...
Expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
Yep, I still expect Bottas to overtake me, but he's done a bloody good job, Mick, of keeping him honest. I've managed to get myself back within DRS range of Pierre Gasly, setting a personal best in the process. Suddenly now, I feel like I can pass him. The gap was 2 seconds about 2 laps ago. It feels like Pierre's just starting to lose a bit of pace here, and suddenly I'm on the offensive and I can smell a P4. Bottas isn't closing down that much either, so I think we can actually do this and stay there. Very tidy through there. It does feel like Gasly's picked up his pace this lap. He's responding to what I'm doing. We're going to set another personal best. Can we challenge? I don't think we can. We haven't got enough on the straight to get close enough, but we are going to close in quite a lot to the Frenchman. Come on, we can do this.
Some information on Vettel. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Ooh, okay. Tasty. 11 seconds up the road. Could there be a late podium on the cards? That'd be special. Verstappen's just overtaken Schumacher for P7. So Schumi now down to 8th place. I'm concentrating and sweating this so hard. The AI gets such good traction out of here, it's unbelievable. And they use the overtake as well to double up on their acceleration. But we are close enough. Here we go. I've got just about enough ERS in the tank to attempt this. Look at the speed difference. We're going to breeze past Pierre Gasly as Bottas starts to close in. What a move. With 3 laps to go. We're P4. Vettel's issues aren't that bad because he's still 9 seconds up the road. So I don't think we're going to catch Seb. But if I can bring him a P4 and beat Bottas, the championship leader, that'll be perfect. What a lap from us. Gasly will have DRS, but that's okay. We've got enough of a gap. Another personal best, 16.1. We're looking good here, boys. 2 laps to go. Bottas is now going to put a move on Gasly. Here we go then through the final sector. Hamilton wins it in Barcelona. Gasly's going to hold on to P5, and I'm going to hold on to a P4, which we really had to work for, and I didn't think I'd actually achieve it. I thought Gasly was out of reach, but we managed to bring it home and hold on. Here we go, out the final corner, and there we go, P4. Yes, come on, boys. Come on.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
A real team effort which has paid off in spades. A great victory here at the Spanish Grand Prix. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Well then guys, there we go. The results are in. Hamilton picks up the win. A much needed win for him in the Drivers' Championship. Leclerc second, Sebastian Vettel third, making it yet another double podium for Ferrari. We finish in 4th place from P18 on the grid. What a drive. What a performance, and the pace in the race was legit. We were really quick, and it was much stronger than the qualifying pace. Pierre Gasly P5 for AlphaTauri, great drive from him. Bottas P6, Verstappen P7, ahead of Ricciardo, who actually managed to split the Red Bull, so great driving from Ricciardo in the Renault. And then Mick Schumacher holds out for a point, so congratulations to him. He managed to hold off Sainz at the end, who of course was also on the one-stop strategy, so we beat both of the McLarens here today on track, which is absolutely awesome, and the upgrades working well. Carlos Sainz P11 missing out on the points, along with Lando Norris, Kvyat, Ocon, Perez, Stroll, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Grosjean, Russell, Latifi, and then Giovinazzi, the only retirement from the race here today. So after that race and those points, it means we overtake Verstappen for P5, and we are back in front of the Dutchman, which is absolutely insane. Hamilton reclaims top spot in the Drivers' Championship, and unfortunately for us, Mick Schumacher has now drifted out of view. He's P16, even though he scored a point here today with Gasly. His big result, he unfortunately moves ahead of him, and yeah, Gasly doing a good job here today in the AlphaTauri, but Mick Schumacher still 10 points to his name, much better than last season. We then move into the constructor standings, and we are in 4th place, overtaking Racing Point, and 56 points to our name. Only 4 points behind Red Bull Racing. Absolutely insanity. After 6 races, we're really punching above our weight here. We're really competing at a strong level. And, you know, credit has to go to Mick as well. You know, this year he's actually chipping in with some points, so it's really good to see. But guys, there's it for the race here at Spain. We're now going to put some upgrades on for the next race at Monaco.
Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
Not really, to be fair. You know, the strategy was great and the car was brilliant. Again, the straight line speed was really good as well, so not really. I just pushed as hard as I could. Simple as that.
You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you?
At the moment, you know, with the team we've got, nothing can. I think we're doing really well, and you know, we've got some great momentum, and that's credit to them.
Great. Well, that's everything.
And there we go then. In terms of the rivalry breakdown, we have beaten Lando Norris, which is great. So we are going to get a very nice acclaim boost from that, which is really good. And we beat him quite comfortably, actually, which is great to see. And you can see there we do gain a nice chunk of acclaim, as does Mick Schumacher. And also as a team, we progress quite nicely now, well into level 16, which is really good. In terms of the cash, though, after this race and, you know, gold bonuses, we unfortunately missed out on the fastest lap bonus, of course, finishing P1 in any session, as we failed to do that in FP1. But we do get a full payout with no deductions there, which is great. So cash does go up to 7 million, which is absolutely fine, but let's see if we can spend the money. Right, so we are back on the laptop, and first of all, we have some sponsorship renewal, and I'm quite happy to continue with Sudo and Sunburst, so we are going to sign with them once again. We're then going to assign a few activities. We've got an 8-day turnaround until the next race, so we've got quite a nice little period here to improve things. So let's work on a few things. First and foremost, we are going to go for, I think, some simulator training for Mick Schumacher. We're then going to assign some durability. Department focus is tempting, but I want to do the equipment upgrade instead because it's not going to affect the morale of the other departments, which is really key. And then we have 3 more days left over. And while the sponsor event is something I wanted to do, we're going to stick with power team building because, again, that doesn't affect other departments. And it does leave us with a day spare, which is, you know, not ideal, but I can't complain too much. We have 7.06 million, and I'm tempted to improve maybe a facility or something because we do have the points for it. And, you know, I want to try and push on. So looking at durability, I feel like we should move up, you know, on the fabrication and go to level 2, so it upgrades more upgrades for us in the future. And we're going to add to that by also purchasing, actually, never mind. I wanted to do resource point generation, but that's not going to be possible as that's a bit more expensive, which is a shame. So we go up to the R&D and we are going to purchase an upgrade. Do we have control electronics upgrades available? No, we don't. We need facility spec 2. So we'll wait for that to arrive in that case because we need this upgrade here for the control electronics because it's our most worn engine part and we need to improve it. Simple as that. So instead, we'll refocus and you know, change and look elsewhere. And looking at the aerodynamics, of course, can we throw one an upgrade before Monaco? I don't think we can. So maybe an engine one, a minor one. Can that arrive before Monaco? Let's have a look. If we rush it, it could arrive before Monaco. Do we try it? A 43% failure chance. You know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to try and brush it from Monaco. Let's see if that works out for us. So yet another engine upgrade on the way. let's scroll back over to the timeline and let's move on to see how things progress moving forward. I've stopped the simulation. Unfortunately, the engine upgrade has failed. I can't seem to get any luck with the rushed upgrades in this career mode so far, but we will repurchase it, and that will arrive on the car before the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which is great, so that's going to help us out massively for that race, and that will leave us with 362 points, and hopefully with the upgrades we've got in the pipeline, we should make a really big step forward and really move up the midfield ranks. But let's simulate and move on to the Monaco Grand Prix. And there we go then, we're ready for the next race at Monaco. The good news is the aerodynamic upgrade has arrived on the rear end of the car, which is great. So we're looking in good shape heading into Monaco. But guys, that is it from me here today in this episode of the F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. If you guys enjoyed it, drop me a like and subscribe if you're new for daily F1 content on the channel. And also check out the video on screen right now, along with the full playlist of this series so far. But guys, that's it from me. Hopefully have a good evening, and I'll see you all next time for the next episode at Monaco. But until then, it's goodbye from me.